Well, shwmae pawb and croeso o gyginio ar y hyd. Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Happy Cymru Cook Along. My name is Richard and heddiw, today, we're going to be celebrating, and I promise you it is a proper day, World Garlic Day, right? And we're going to be making a wonderful, homemade, proper Chicken Kiev, and we're going to serve that with some jacket potatoes and also some steamed vegetables that I've got steaming up in my microwave as we speak. So now that I've got everything sorted computer-wise, I just quickly need to go and wash my hands, and then I will be back ready to do this afternoon's cook along. So bear with me, I'm going to be 19 seconds and 15 milliseconds and I will be back. So bear with me, I'm just going to quickly wash my hands. Well, prynhawn da pawb, and welcome to this afternoon's cook along. I'm just quickly washing my hands and I will be back in the room. Today, as you can see on the notice board, we are celebrating World Garlic Day. Yes, it is a proper day, and yes, we are going to have great fun with our garlic today. So I'm now just washed my hands, just pop my paper towel just into there, and I am back in the room. Just need to pop a little bit of antibacterial gel on my hands and then we will be ready. So let me just shake all of that off, just like that. Put my hands on there, I'll let them air dry while I'm talking to you. So I'm going to start off, as I always do, with my official part, and then the way it is today, as it's a Monday, it will definitely all go downhill from there. So my official part this afternoon is prynhawn da pawb and croeso, welcome to the Happy Cymru Cook Along. My name is Richard, and as I said right at the start today, we are celebrating World Garlic Day, and I promise you, yes, it is a proper day. Rather than doing just traditional garlic bread or something like that, or doing a I don't know, a garlic soup or something like that, I thought what could be better than doing something that we all love, which is a Chicken Kiev, right? That typical Chicken Kiev that you have on your plate, and it oozes with all that lovely buttery sort of garlicky sort of mixture. We're going to make it slightly healthier this afternoon, and rather than using all that butter, we're going to be using some low-fat cream cheese. So it's still going to ooze out, but it's going to be slightly healthier for us as well. So I'm hoping that if I just click this button just there, that yes, it has, the recipe card has just come up on the side over there, and I just need to make sure that I've got my recipe card on my big screen just to the side of me. So you can see that we're going to start off today by making the filling for our Chicken Kiev, and I've got just one chicken breast here today that I'm going to show you how to prepare, and then I've got one that's already been cooked just on the top there, and I promise you it smells absolutely fantastic. So as you can see on the recipe card, for our filling, rather than using butter, which is obviously high in that saturated fat, we're going to use a little bit of reduced fat cream cheese. This is just a plain cream cheese. If you wanted to cheat, you could already use that garlic and herb cream cheese, right? But this is a plain cream cheese, so I can use it for lots of other things as well, and we're just going to infuse it with my typical herbs and garlic as well, right? So in terms of the garlicky sort of taste for our Chicken Kievs, you can either use 2 cloves of garlic, or I'm going to use my favourite ingredient at the moment, because it means that I don't have to prepare all of that lovely garlic. I'm going to use some garlic granules. So for 100 grams, I've got a half mixture just here. I've got 50 grams. I know that the recipe card is telling you for 4 portions, right? But basically, my spoon won't fit in there, so I'm going to measure it out this way. It says 2 cloves of garlic, so you want approximately 1 teaspoon of sort of garlic sort of granules just there, right? So I put about half a teaspoon in mine. In addition to that, you're also going to add 1 heaped teaspoon of parsley, and it's actually the parsley that you can see oozing out of your typical sort of Chicken Kiev. and then I've got a little bit of the proper mixed herbs. Again, not traditional, but those mixed herbs are going to add lots of flavour, so hopefully we won't need to add any extra salt. And then the final thing that I've got is I've just got a little bit of lemon juice. That's just going to make it a little bit more tart, but add a little bit of flavour as well. If you wanted to, you can see on there that you've got a stock cube on there as well. That could be your little source of salt. You just crumble that in. I'm not adding it today because I might have forgotten to order them from the supermarket today. So I've just got those just there, and literally all that we're going to do to mix that up is our filling is I'm going to mix all of that up, kamuski, mixing it all up just as so, and you can see that I've got my garlicky, sort of cheesy, sort of herby sort of filling for my little garlic, what am I making today? Chicken Kiev. I said it was going to go downhill, didn't I? So you've got that just there, so that's all ready to be using afterwards. So when you're making these, ideally you make this in advance, and then you can pop that in the fridge so it solidifies just a little bit. So I'm just going to pop that on the side just over there. So once you've made your filling, the next thing is to concentrate on our chicken. And as I've got on there, you have got the recipe for 4 portions, okay? And I would suggest that you make 2 or 3 portions at least, and then you can freeze it down, right? As long as your chicken hasn't been frozen before, you can quite easily freeze them down and then just pull them out as and when you want it. So it's a bit of batch cooking as well. Equally, you might have 4 people in your family, so you can just serve the 4 straight away. So I've just got a little single chicken breast just there. The one that I made earlier that I'm going to show you was a slightly smaller chicken breast. But the first thing we need to do is somehow we need to get, I'm going to leave that bit just there, okay? In actual fact, I might pop that bit just on there like that, and I'm going to pop that just under there, just as so. So I've got my little chicken breast, and you can see one bit has already fallen out, right? We can still use it. Okay, so what we're going to do is you just need to open out your chicken breast, right? Now what I'm doing, this is called butterflying your chicken breast, because you want it to be as big as possible, right? Because your filling is going to go into the centre. So I've opened it up just like that. I haven't sort of cut through it. I'm just doing what we call butterflying it, right? So you're opening it out like a little book, just as so, just opening it out just so it's a little bit bigger, right? And I got that bit just there, and in actual fact that bit is going to go to cover it afterwards. So I can pop that just there. Now once you have butterflied your chicken breast out, and I can show you that my chicken breast is a lot bigger now, we're just going to flatten it out just a little bit. So I've got a little bit of greaseproof paper just here, right? And I've got a rolling pin. If you've got a meat hammer at home, that's quite good. And all that you're going to do, this is quite a nice little job, right? You're going to pretend that this chicken is someone that's upset you, and you're taking your anger out on that little chicken breast, right? So I'm not sort of bashing it, right? All that I'm literally doing, so I can take that off, you can see that I flattened it out just a little bit, and that means that you're going to be able to get more of that filling in, but also it's going to cook a little bit quicker as well. So I'm just literally just going to pop that on just as so. I can then pop that just underneath. I'm going to give my table a really good clean in a couple of moments, and also my hands. So I'm going to get rid of that bit. I'll just pop that into my little waste bowl just behind me. So you can see that I have really flattened that out now, right? So I've got my main piece of chicken just there, and that is going to go over the top, right? So it wasn't the best of chicken breast because obviously one bit fell off, but that will be fine. So with this, I'm just going to take a little spoonful, and I'm going to pop that little spoonful just in the centre like that. I might have a little bit more because this is enough for 2 little ones just like that. And then literally I'm going to pop my little chicken breast on there. That will seal it. And then we're just going to bring all of those edges over like that, right? So you've got that all nicely sealed, and I'm hoping that if I hold that up, you can see that just like that, right? Now then, what the recipe card will tell you is at this stage, you need to roll it up and allow it to cool down in the fridge. And I would strongly suggest that you do that just so that that sort of cream cheese can sort of solidify a little bit. But I haven't got that time. But what I mean when you need to roll it up is you roll it up as tight as possible, right? So you're just rolling it up, and then all that you're going to do is just move it round just like that, he says. You can tell that I've only made these, I've never demonstrated these, that's why I'm waffling, right? But you're just going to roll it up just like that, right? Now, I'm just going to wash my hands very, very quickly. And then, all that we're then going to do is just coat it. So, I'll stop talking. I'm not doing very well this afternoon. So, we've got our little chicken breast just there. So, as I said, that now needs to ideally go in the fridge for about half an hour just to sort of harden up and cool down, right? Because it'll be easier to coat afterwards. So just imagine I pop that in the fridge for now. Whilst that's cooling down, I've then got these other bits, right? We're going to add a little coating to it. So for our coating, traditional when I made the chicken nuggets for our McHappy meal, when I made our fish fingers, you'll know that we always first of all coat it in that flour because that acts as that little base, a little glue. I then coat it in the egg, and then I got my little breadcrumbs, right? For my breadcrumbs, what I've got just here is I've got one of those part bake sort of rolls, right? That you can get from all the supermarkets. Ideally, you're choosing a wholemeal one because that's obviously going to raise that fibre content. And all that I tend to do is I tend to either pop them in the blitzer, or you can easily grate them down, right? And you get perfect little breadcrumbs, right? So that's the easiest way of doing it. So I got my breadcrumbs just there. I need to crack my egg. So let me just grab myself just a little fork, and I can pop that into, actually I need that. Open that up just as so. And then we're just going to quickly whisk this up. And that's obviously going to act as the glue to stick our little breadcrumbs on afterwards, right? So I've got that just there. I got my flour just there. I need some little plates. So this is now what we're going to do. In actual fact, I'm going to have a little bowl as well. I never quite know how to demonstrate this bit, right? I tried to do it in a bag earlier and it didn't work. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open this up. Imagine that this has now been cooking off for a good, or cooling off rather, for a good 20 minutes, half an hour, and you've got that there just like that, right? This is going to be a little bit messy now, right? The first thing is you're just going to coat it in that flour. And as I said, that flour is going to aid the stickiness, the glue, right? Because the egg sort of sticks to that glue and it dries it out a little bit so that it makes it a little bit easier to pop on the breadcrumbs. So I've got that just there. I'm going to pop my breadcrumbs just into my little container over there. So I've got my egg now. So I'm going to egg and dip this into the egg just like that. I'm hoping that you're able to see that. And I'm just going to turn it over, make sure it's all nicely coated. And if I hold that up, you should be able to see that that's now nicely coated, right? So I'm going to pop that just over there just as so. Don't need that anymore. I've got my little bit of breadcrumbs. So now that it's coated, I'm going to pop it straight into my breadcrumbs, and then I can start to coat these just as so, just like that. And these wholemeal breadcrumbs are absolutely fantastic, and you can see that you've got your proper little Chicken Kiev just there. So let me just pop that into there, and that just there, and if I get that out, and you should then be able to see your little Chicken Kiev just there. So you can see that we've got our little Chicken Kiev just like that. So I'm just going to pop that just there, because now you've got two options. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on my little frying pan just here, and I will be back just 1 second. There's lots of to-ing and fro-ing today because I'm very conscious that I've got that raw meat on my hands. So let me just wash my hands once again, and I'll dry them off on a little paper towel. That goes into there, and then I can pop a little bit of that on. The final thing, be back now. Now whilst I'm doing this, as you know, I can't do two things at once, so if you have got any questions this afternoon, do pop them into the comments section, and we will do our best to answer them as quickly as possible. Hopefully, as we are live today, either myself or one of the happy team will be able to answer them more or less straight away. Otherwise, we will answer them as soon as possible afterwards. So now that I've wiped my table area over, we're ready to move on to the next bit. Now then, when it comes to cooking these, right, you have got two options. Okay, they can either go straight into the oven, right, a little bit of oil on an oil tray for about 25 to 30 minutes, and they come out really, really delicious, right? If you want them extra golden brown, whereas we would normally fry them or deep fry them if we were in the supermarket or the local pub, right, what we're going to do is we're going to oven bake them. But I'm going to add a little bit of extra colour, so I've just got a non-stick sort of frying pan just there, and I'm going to add half a teaspoon of oil to the frying pan and half a teaspoon drizzled on top. That's equivalent to about 3 or 4 sort of drizzles or sprays of spray oil into your pan, and 3 or 4 spray oils onto your Chicken Kiev, right? And what I'm looking for is just to brown it off in the pan, and then this is a pan that can go straight into the oven. I'll then pop it into the oven, or you can pop it onto a tray and it just bakes off nice and easy, right? It just gives it that little bit of extra sort of crispiness, right? So I've got my little Chicken Kiev. So try and put, it looks like the sealed edge is or the open edge where we sealed it all over is, try and keep it at the bottom, right? So I'm just going to pop that just on like that, literally about 30 seconds either side. Then you turn it over and get it in the oven more or less straight away, and I promise you this is absolutely blasses iawn, super, super, super tasty. So let me just grab that just as so. So I think that is now nicely browned on that side, and you can see when I say nicely browned, right, it literally is just about brown and crispy. I'm actually going to add just another little spoonful of oil because it's sucked up all of that oil, and then all you're literally going to do is get that in the oven 25 to 30 minutes, and you will end up with the most delicious Chicken Kiev. So let me just turn that off. Quickly going to wash my hands once again, and then we'll be ready to serve. So once your Chicken Kiev has been in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, it should, are you ready? A little drum roll. It should look very much like this, and you can see that you have got that lovely Chicken Kiev looking and smelling absolutely blasses iawn, super, super tasty. It's nice and golden brown on top. It's not burnt, it's nice and golden brown, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve this with a homemade jacket potato, and this jacket potato has been cooked in 2 ways, right? Whenever I'm making jacket potatoes, because I like them to cook quite quickly, and I like that taste of that sort of oven baked sort of skin, because you can really have that lovely fibre from there. I cooked it in the microwave for about 3 minutes just to cook it, and then it takes about half an hour in the oven, and you can see that you end up with the most amazing crispy jacket potato. So literally, let me grab myself a little knife, and I am just going to open that up just as so you can see that you've got your lovely little jacket potato just there. And obviously you're going to have that with all of that lovely sort of cream cheesy sort of bits from there. But also I'm going to make it and turn it into a little sour cream little topping as well. So let me just grab my little bit of, and rather than using creme fraiche or sour cream, I've got a little bit of reduced fat creme fraiche just here. So I'm going to pop a little bit of creme fraiche on top of that. I'm a great fan of creme fraiche, as you know, right? So I'm going to pop that straight on to my little jacket potato just here. See if I can open that up, and it should ooze down as we are sort of talking. I'm going to add a little bit of my trusty sort of parsley to that, so you've got that lovely creme fraiche just there. Now with my little chicken Kiev, I want you to be able to see the inside of this. So you can hear how crispy it sort of sounds. It smells absolutely delicious. And if I open that up just there, it's not all oozing out, but you've got that lovely smell of garlic, and I promise you it really does smell absolutely delicious. So I'm going to pop that one on there just as so. Natural fact, we'll do it that way because I have also got our other bits to serve with it afterwards. So I'll pop that just like so. And then the final thing that I have got today is, as I said, I got some broccoli and some green beans that have been steaming in my microwave. So let me grab those bits just out of here, and we can pop those on just like that. Adds a lovely little bit of colour, and you can see that we have got our homemade chicken Kievs served with a jack potato and some steamed vegetables, and I promise you this is absolutely blassis yawn. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed today's cook along. I apologise that I have been like a rabbit in the headlights this afternoon, because I don't know why, but I'm having one of those days. I think I've had too much caffeine this morning. But don't forget that all the recipe cards are available on our Facebook page as well as the website. And I will be back on Thursday, hopefully a little bit calmer, and hopefully not so much a rabbit in the headlights, where I am going to be celebrating International Tea Day. Yes, again, like World Garlic Day, it is a proper day, and we are going to be doing a refreshing blueberry and mint sort of iced tea, and also a raspberry and Earl Grey sort of cakey sort of loaf, which is, I promise, I made it yesterday, is absolutely delicious. So diolch yn fawr iawn, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later this week. Diolch and coginio hapus.